So, hi Donna, welcome. So, this is our first session. So, I would like to just start off with this consent form, just saying that it's completely confidential, everything that we talk about within these four walls. The only time I would ever have to breach that would be if you expressed a desire to harm yourself or somebody else, because at that point I am a mandated reporter. So if you are okay with that, everything else is going to stay between us. If you're okay with that, if you don't mind signing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, I'd like to start off with, what brings you here today?
I'm having trouble going to the store doing grocery shopping.
Okay. Can you explain that just a little bit for me?
Well, I live by myself and I need to be able to do something like that, and it's not a problem I've always had, but I'm having it now, and it's just very difficult for me to leave the house and go to the store and stay in the store long enough to purchase items and wait in line and then, check out.
Okay. So, just to clarify, it's the actual going through the motions of going to the store,
Yeah.
and shopping
Yes.
itself. Okay. Um, and what about that is difficult? You don't mind explaining?
It seems like there's a lot going on in the store, even when I go during off hours with music and lights and people and the items that crowd into the aisle.
Okay. All right. And for our conversation, what would you like to be different after having sessions with me?
I would like to be able to, as I make my list ahead of time so I know what I need,
Okay.
so I'm all organized before I go. I'd like to be able to go through the store and pick up everything I need and be able to shop and come home and be okay with that.
Okay. And what do you feel?
Overwhelmed.
Okay.
Distracted. Like I have to work to focus. Like I said, it seems loud and they have music playing in the background and a lot of competing signs and then people and
So it sounds like to me that it's like too much external stimulation.
Yes.
So it's very distracting. And it sounds like you got some good ideas and things that you're practicing already.
Such as?
Like your list. You're kind of coming in prepared. And you're very aware of what is distracting. So you know exactly what it is. It doesn't sound like you have just the feeling, you're associating that with being overwhelmed. It's the lights and the noise and the external factors.
Right.
Does that sound
Uh-huh.
right? So you mentioned something at the beginning, that this isn't a problem you've encountered in the past. This is a fairly new problem.
Right.
So if you don't mind walking me through what it was like in the past for you to go grocery shopping?
I've never been fond of shopping,
Okay.
but I make my list. Whatever time I need to go, if it was after work or,
Mhm.
Whatever, or early in the morning, late at night, I could just get up and go and do it and
Okay.
bring things back home, and that was it.
Okay.
It was not a big deal. I'm an efficient shopper. I do not enjoy going to malls and stuff like that, but I wasn't afraid of them or
Mhm.
intimidated by it
Mhm.
or avoided doing it. So I would take things like go once a week and make a big trip and go. And that would be done, usually on a weekend, of course.
So it sounds like in the past you've kind of gone in with a game plan,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't go. It also sounds like you don't go every day, or you did not go every day. You would.
Right, yeah. I mean, if somebody, my daughter ran out of something and said, can you pick up milk on the way home? I could pop in and get that,
Mhm.
but it wasn't a big deal. But I prefer the way I organize, to have a day to go do that or an evening to go do that.
Mhm. Now, how is it with the smaller trips? Let's start there, because it sounds like in the past you kind of saved it all for one big trip.
Right.
Just kind of get it done, not have to go daily, but
I haven't tried smaller trips,
okay.
so maybe that's something I could do, and I don't know if that would help, because right now the anxiety is so bad that it takes up my whole day, because I want to get it done earlier in the day, but I have to work around constraints, and then like mentally I feel like I'm just sort of anticipating it, worrying
Mhm.
about it all day.
Mhm.
And then when I get it done, I come home and I load everything and take care of it, and then I'm wiped out after that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a pretty exhaustive effort on your part with the preparation and the actual implementing it, and then by the time you're done and doing all of that, that does sound like it's an exhausting effort. So, would you be open to maybe doing something like you've done in the past, where you do a more bite-sized trip?
What would be the advantage of that? I don't understand.
Okay. Kind of desensitizing you to the stimuli, like a little more slowly.
Okay.
So, it sounds like you've had success with this in the past.
Right.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page, so if I'm at all wrong,
I understand.
feel free to
No,
stop me.
that's right.
Okay. And so this is a fairly new dilemma that you're running into, and it sounds like, and I think a lot of the time what we all want to do is, if we run into a dilemma, we want to go back to exactly how we were operating before, where that may not be like a very good realistic expectation right away out of the
Okay.
gate. I don't think that means that you can't ever be at that point. I fully believe that you can.
Okay.
But maybe starting off in smaller, instead of dumping into the deep end of the.
Like I wouldn't be there for an hour. I'd be there 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or so. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And starting off with that and seeing,
Yeah.
adjusting to maybe the stimuli
Right.
and getting a feel for it.
And then what? Go small trips every day or a couple of times a week?
Well,
or
what's
what?
comfortable for you? What sounds like a realistic goal that you would feel comfortable pursuing?
Probably. Well, how long does it take to get, what'd you call it, desensitized to something?
I don't think there's a set time period for it. It's sort of just the practice of doing it.
So is it, I don't know, every other day?
Well, you tell me. Does that sound like
Yeah, I
too
don't
much
know.
or too little?
Yeah, I just don't know if I'm gonna worry on the days in between when I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going. Like, okay, I just got back, but I gotta go turn around and go back
Mm-hmm.
day after tomorrow. And I don't know if I'm going to do that or not.
Well, let's just start with the successes of going.
Okay.
Let's focus on the victories of going. Whereas now it's very difficult for you to go. And it sounds like when you're pushed into that direction and trying to complete the entire thing in one felt swoop,
Right.
it sounds like you're and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you've got a lot of anxiety about being overstimulated and having to leave potentially
Yeah.
because there's too much going on.
Right.
So instead of running that risk and pushing yourself to that brink, how about going and seeing how it goes, just going
Okay.
and getting a few things that you need.
Now, what if I'm in there and I get to my 10 minutes
Mhm.
and I feel okay? Can I keep going?
Of course.
Okay. All right.
Of course, yeah. That's
And what
sort
if
of-
it's the other way? What if I can't? And what if I'm like
yeah.
overwhelmed at 5 minutes? Is that okay to? Is that a failure if I turn around and walk out?
No.
Okay.
It's not a failure at all because there's no failures with this. It's the fact that you're trying. And there's going to be, just like with anything, there's going to be successes with things, and then there's going to be days where it doesn't feel like it should have gone maybe how you thought it would go. But you're going to slowly kind of reintegrate that into your schedule. So maybe those little trips, like you said, after 10 minutes, you're still feeling, okay, I can do this. We're going through it. Maybe you don't even notice the 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you're having a particularly overwhelming day, maybe just going for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
pulling into the parking lot
And doing what?
if you feel overwhelmed.
Just sit there?
Do what you feel like you can do. What do you think you would do in that situation if you felt overwhelmed?
I mean, like if I was telling a friend or something, or what to do, or
Yeah.
I would probably tell them it's okay to just sit there sometimes. You know, sit there,
Mm-hmm.
just watch the people. It's nothing to be afraid of. Or,
Mm-hmm. If you were talking to your future self about this, what would you hope for her?
What would I hope?
Mm-hmm. What would you hope that you would? Where would you be at with her?
I don't understand.
If you're talking to yourself in the future,
Right.
where do you see yourself with this particular dilemma? You're having a conversation about it.
I would be encouraging
Yeah.
that every step is progress.
Mm-hmm.
That it can get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I just guess like affirming
Mm-hmm.
the experience, even if it's just on a really crappy day at work or something, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, or I'm running short on time and I'm stressed out, and just even going by and just pulling into the parking lot, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's okay. And that hopefully with repeated exposure it gets better or easier.
So if you see your future self and this problem is no longer a problem, what does that look like to you? Really take your time with that. Just think about Donna without that anxiety and that overwhelmed feeling in going to the store.
Enjoying the experience. I like to cook, I like to try new recipes, and I like to make enough of everything for my daughter and her boyfriend to enjoy when they visit. And so I would see that being something that it should be an enjoyable experience where I can look and pick up something new or pick something that, oh, hey, I know they'd like this. And, where I'm not rushing through and getting just milk, bread, onions, potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I could shop and maybe get something that's interesting or,
Spice it up a little.
yeah, different, yeah.
Yeah.
So where it would be an enjoyable experience, not,
Yeah.
you know.
And where do you feel that, like, that providing joy?
In my chest.
In your chest? And what does that feel like?
Like kind of a warm feeling.
That's neat. I really want to encourage you to maybe tap into that feeling. And maybe practice that when you're about to go in, or when you're in your prepping and making your list and doing all of those things, because I think those are all great. If you're stressed out about going and that's creating a lot of anxiety for you, planning is a really good way to work around that. So it's not, you've already come up with a whole bunch of solutions for yourself
Right.
to preempt this. So, and like you said, you've done this before.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never thought about it before, so it was just very automatic before,
Yeah.
without,
But how does it feel knowing that you've been able to do that before?
well, hopeful. I've been feeling like I've been broken. It's like there's something wrong with me.
With this specifically?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like I don't. It doesn't feel like it's me, because me would not. Me would still be running in and out of the store and doing stuff like that.
Well, how does that feel to be you?
Now, or
Yeah, no.
now, well, like there's something wrong with me. Like I'm being silly or overreacting or overthinking it or, letting this problem become the better of me. Or become defining of me, I guess.
Well, I want to give you and help you with these tools that you've come up with and those feelings of hope that you feel for yourself when it comes to this.
Okay.
And I want want you to focus on those. When you're about to go into the store, or while you're in the store, maybe you're feeling particularly overwhelmed. You're thinking about those good things that you feel in your chest when it comes to working with new recipes
Right.
or doing things that are helpful to others.
Right.
So, maybe focusing on those things.
Okay.
Does that sound like something?
Yeah. Kind of like a carrot and a stick.
Yeah.
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 I gotcha.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sort of, those are all things that you've come up with, and you've done those things in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So we both know that you're able to do them.
Right. That makes sense.
You've done it already.
Yeah.
You're not trying to face the impossible of
Right.
scaling a skyscraper without a harness. It's
Yeah, I like that.
You've already done that before.
Yeah.
So we know you can do it. It's just more maybe about using different tools to maybe get that accomplished,
Right.
you know? So before you were saying about setting those goals, you seemed a little reluctant, and again, correct me if I'm wrong about, and you brought up a good point about what if I go every other day and then I'm worried about those days off that I'm not going, is that going to stress me out more?
Right.
Do you have help with obtaining groceries and stuff like that now? Do you have someone that can help you with those pieces while you're sort of working through this?
Yes, my daughter does.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very good about it. You know, I let her know in advance, and not like when she's already past the store and has to turn around and go back. But if I
Makes
say,
sense.
yeah, she's very patient with me, so I would definitely have some help. But
Okay.
it's something I want to do by myself. But yes, I do have.
Yeah. While you're working through this.
Yes, yeah.
And kind
Yeah.
of.
If I had a hard time with something, I could just let her know, and she or her boyfriend, I'm sure, would too. You know, if they're on their way up here for something or visiting, I could ask them to, pick up something.
Nice. So it sounds like you've got some good support systems in place too.
Yes, I do.
That's excellent. But yeah, if your goal is to independently complete these tasks, I want to be able to do anything I can to be alongside you to encourage you to do those things.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And I think that it's definitely very possible because you've done it. You know how to do it. It's just maybe a little different.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you maybe take that meditative pause and that mindful pause about those things that make you feel good in your chest, that warm feeling you feel. And then going in and, like we said, let's try with a goal. What sounds like a reasonable goal to you? I'm gonna ask you that again. I don't want to belabor it, but
10-minute trips
okay.
every other day.
Every other day.
Yeah.
Run in, get a couple things.
Yes.
So we will be meeting next Tuesday, right?
Okay.
If you would like to continue.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Yeah.
And so let's work with your goal.
Okay.
Let's say between now and next Tuesday, so that's a week from now.
Right.
So you would go approximately like Thursday and Saturday.
Right.
In between then.
Right.
For about 10 minutes.
Right.
Grab a couple things.
Right.
So let's try that
Okay.
and see how that works and how you feel about it. And I really want you to take notice to what you're feeling in your body and
Okay.
what thoughts are maybe going through your head or not going through your head, if it's racing thoughts, or if you feel like you kind of almost, blank out or something like that, just kind of pay attention to those things.
Okay.
And I really encourage you to mindfully work with that feeling of providing and
Okay.
that feeling of exploration, having
Right.
fun with recipes and stuff.
Okay.
Let's focus on the positive of it and the fun stuff about it.
All right.
Because I don't really know. I don't know a whole lot of people that like thoroughly enjoy grocery shopping, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to paint it as the most fun you're ever going to have. But
Right.
we can make it. I think definitely with your work and your solutions you've already come up with, I think we can make it something that's a lot more doable.
Okay.
Is that all?
That sounds good. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Well, I will see you this time next Tuesday then.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.